Still a lot's going on in the sports world, and we're only about a week and a half out, and man, it's getting fun.
You are Locked On Bama, your daily podcast on the Alabama Crimson Tide, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back into Locked On Bama, AHSA Radio Network's Luke Robinson. That's me. Alabama internet legend Jimmy Stein. That's him. I want to thank you every day for being here every day. Thank you, newbies, for being here today. And thanks to everybody for making us your first listen every single day. You guys are the best. And there's so much going on. It's like I was trying to figure out what to put on today's show thing. And as I put all that down and downloaded it and put it up here, I'm thinking there's even more to get to, but it's sort of like in a bullet point thing. Like,
can you believe today is
as if you didn't know what bullets were? What?
Well, can you believe today is our last show? The next show we do, game week. The next show we do will be game week, and we start to preview and discuss and break down our opponent, which we stayed away from because instead during fall camp, we thought we'd focus on Alabama and Alabama's lineup and what's going on with the Crimson Tide. But Sunday, when we record next, it'll be game week and time to start deep diving into the Seminoles. How about this on a side note, because it's not on the list and it's okay that it's not, but you're going to be amazed by this. So this weekend, week 0, we probably won't talk too well. We do. Oh, okay, I'll tell you what. We'll talk about it during week 0 thoughts. I've got a factoid about a team playing Saturday that's going to kind of blow you away.
Okay, good. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing it. I think. Okay. Actually, I'm not really sure. But first of all, a quick thing. I got a picture, a meme from a friend of ours named William, super nice guy, who just sent me the picture. And it was a meme of and I love The Office. And it was Michael Scott when he goes, "I declare bankruptcy." And then Oscar comes in the office and says, "You can't just say bankruptcy and everything go away." So I didn't say it, I declared it. Well, somebody did a meme of that, and it was 3 Tech Pod, and they said, "I declare championships." And it was talking about Auburn. He said, "Well, I just wanted to let you can't just say championships. He said, "Well, I didn't say it. I declared it." All I did was take that picture and tweet it because I thought it was hilarious. I didn't know where it came from. I didn't know what it was. Well, apparently somebody with 3 Tech Pod was upset with me as if like I pirated something from them. I'm 52. I can't pirate anything. I might pirate something on Napster. That's how old I am. So I want to say this to 3 Tech Pod at 3 Tech Pod, Twitter, whatever. You guys did great work. I appreciate it. Imitation is the most sincerest form of flattery. And had I known that was from y'all, I would have 100% given you credit. So I'm giving you credit now. And I apologize because I know probably with their generation, it's like I stole something. I didn't mean to steal it. I just did it. And it is hilarious. So they did a good job. Now, a couple other things. And I want to get to these before we get into Xavier Crowell and some other things. First of all, the CFP committee is going to use enhanced metrics for strength of schedule. RIP Indiana's chances at ever getting in a playoff again, because they have scheduled Howard. They have scheduled other first name white dudes like Frank and Jesse.
Second Ambulance Company of Ohio.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sorry. Alabama played them. Actually,
we did play them
in 1917.
And you talk about a rant later. I'll go on that. But so my point is, this is a direct shot at the Indiana University. This is a direct shot saying, "Hey, y'all tried to flaunt this, and now we're putting it right back in your face." And so, if Indiana ever wants to be in the playoff again, I would highly suggest they upgrade their schedule.
What I'm angry about the fact that, are you telling me the committee now needs to be made to factor in strength of schedule in their decisions? This committee has to be made to do that because they weren't doing it already. It's a dereliction of duty, negligence, and everything. It's outrageous. Is really that okay, we're not going to let y'all just count wins and count to 12 because we could hire kindergartners to do that.
It's so stupid. Then Missouri, who Alabama plays, they have gone with a 2-quarterback system of Bo Pribula and whoever Horn.
Sam
And
Horn.
now they have, Missouri has such an easy schedule. They play the first 6 games at home. They have time to probably do this and figure it out. Of course, not to be outdone, Auburn and Hugh Freeze said, it's not out of the question. We play 3 quarterbacks. So, but see, Auburn's schedule is much different. I would definitely name a quarterback.
I have a take on that Auburn thing. Ready
Go
for
ahead.
this? And this is just elementary to me. When Auburn took Jackson Arnold, 5-star Jackson Arnold, out of the portal with the intent of making him the starting quarterback, did any Auburn fan ever dream that he would be sharing the position with others? The fact that they're going to play 3 is an absolute indictment on how Jackson Arnold has looked at Auburn.
Agreed.
I mean, it's absolutely an indictment. There's no other way to take that, because they didn't sign him to say, hey, we're going to go spend a couple million on this guy from Oklahoma because what we'd like to do is play 3 quarterbacks next year, and we want him to be one of the 3. No, they got him to be the unquestioned starter. Hugh Freeze talking about the other 2, Ashton Daniels and Deuce Knight. It's an indictment on how Jackson Arnold has performed in practice. Now, maybe in the games he turns into another player and is great, and they never actually play more than one. I'm just saying that Hugh Freeze talking about playing 3 is some. If I assume there's Auburn fans out there so excited about Jackson Arnold, whew, I would say, listen. The head coach hasn't been too knocked out.
Let me say this, Jimmy. I think you and I have no problem saying this. If Kalen DeBoer came out and said, you know what, we're still trying to figure this out. We're going to start Ty Simpson, and then Keelan Russell's going to get some play. You and I would be freaking out. I wouldn't like that at all.
We would. No, that would be absolutely an indictment on Ty Simpson. And I would be saying, if that's what Kalen DeBoer was saying, I would be saying the quarterback's going to be Keelan Russell.
I'm with you on that.
Because if they're struggling to the point that they're going to play the true freshman, then just give the job to the true freshman, and the baptism by fire will pay off for us in 2027 or 2026. That's what I would be saying in that same scenario. I'm just saying out loud what I think some Auburn fans haven't said. And there's might be some Auburn fans kind of like, ooh, I can't wait to see this 3 quarterback thing.
I wanted to throw this out there because it just seems like one of those things that's it was probably a good idea that's turned out to be a weird idea. Michigan secured a commitment from Xavier, I believe it's pronounced Hyder, Hiter, who's number 1 running back in the country. Michigan opens up in Germany next year, apparently.
Yeah.
They are going to have a running back who spells his name Hiter. He is 1 L short of a very infamous, dubious name from Germany.
Especially in that neck of the woods.
Yeah,
that's amazing. That's hilarious. Did you come up with that?
What?
Is that this? Are you the first?
I just noticed it. I mean, I was like, "That's weird." Okay, I didn't steal that from anybody. I just noticed. Arkansas has okayed field rushing after a 3-minute delay. I got some good news and bad news. The good news is it won't be an issue. The bad news is it won't be an issue.
Yeah, who are they planning on upsetting? It's a strange thing to say.
I'm sitting here going, please be Auburn, please be Auburn.
And are they going to rush the field for beating a team that hadn't had a winning record in 5 years?
If you're Arkansas, you're dang right you are.
They might. And I like Sam. I was watching Sam the other day, and Sam's got a restaurant, by the way, and a restaurant bar in Hot Springs that he partly owns called The Locals, I heard. And I'm like, I'm in. I think I'm going all the way to Hot Springs just to eat at that place. I trust his judgment as a man who eats and drinks. I trust his judgment.
Did you see that some student newspaper reporter asked him a question the other day and was like, so coach, I know as far as your games, they're not as as they don't sound as good to the eye as Bobby Petrino's games or something like that. What? And then he rambled about some more and Sam was like, wait a minute, do you have a question? And the kid was like, yeah, I probably should have done this differently. And then everybody's like, wait a minute, your eyes don't listen anyway. So what is going on here? Anyway, it was just kind of funny. But then one other thing I want to throw out there was ESPN came out with their top 100 players for the year. And I want to be PO'd about this. I really do.
You do?
I'm not sure I can. And about this one particular ranking, they have Ryan Williams at number 12 and Jeremiah Smith at number 1. Jeremiah Smith at number 1, no qualms, no problems.
I'd probably put him there.
And then if you have Anthony Hill 2, I get it. You have Caleb Downs 3, also get it.
Fair.
Cade Klubnik at 4, I'm probably not on board, but I understand.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Love at 5, TJ Parker 6. And then you get to Spencer Fano, the offensive lineman at Utah, and I'm like, okay, I'm sure he's great.
Might be the number 1 tackle in the draft, but
he might be. But I'm not.
Yeah.
Now you're starting to hurt my feelings. This is a Ryan Williams podcast.
If you're the second best wide receiver in college football, and apparently, so I assume Ryan is the number 2 receiver list on their list.
Yes, he is. He's number 12. Dylan Stewart, Colin Simmons, Peter Woods, Garrett Nussmeier, all ahead of him. And
big names. They're all big names. And Ryan is a sophomore. I think next year is the year that Ryan really racks up a ton of quote awards. But boy, he sure gets a lot of attention. This deal with Beats by Dre. I'm excited for him. I think he's going to have a big year.
This is look, I got to tell you something really funny on a personal note. When I was in high school, okay, so my parents' house downstairs is where my room was and all this stuff. And by the way, when I was young in my room, I want y'all to know this, because my room was initially designed to sort of be like dad's play game room, kind of man cave before they were cool in the 70s. My room has a rock fireplace, a sauna, a slot machine, a pinball machine, and then when I was in high school, I got a waterbed. You would have thought I was Hugh Hefner's cousin. But anyway, so we had, in my bathroom that was offset from the room.
Oh man!
I got my first cologne ever, and it was Hugo Boss. I hardly ever used it. There's still like that much of it left. It's still on the counter at my parents' house, in that very bathroom, in the same place I left it. And I just saw that Ty Simpson signed a deal with Hugo Boss, and I was thinking, I might just send him mine.
Does cologne age like wine? I don't know.
I don't know if it ages. That's the other thing. I was like, if I put this on, will I just smell like complete butt? I don't know.
Hugo butt.
Well, look, hey, that was good. Maybe if I put on my Hugo Boss and then I get my Rougiette, things will work out for me. Guys, you've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis. Maybe you've even tried them. It's all good. But if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Rougiette Ready. Rougiette Ready is a next-gen prescription treatment designed to amplify arousal in the brain and boost blood flow. Unlike the usual pills that can take hours, Rougiette's 3-in-1 formula dissolves under your tongue and kicks in fast, on average in 15 minutes. Effects can last up to 36 hours. Call a friend, y'all, so you can stay confident and in control when the moment is right. If traditional options haven't worked, Rougiette might be the answer. Over 150,000 men have already made the switch. Head to Rougiette.com/LockedOnCollege and use code LockedOnCollege to get 15% off today. That's RUGIET.com/LockedOnCollege and use promo code LockedOnCollege for 15% off. Individual results may vary with prescription treatment. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, or manufacturing review. Please visit the Rougiette website for full safety information when it comes to Rougiette Ready. Oh, a lot of awkward silence here.
I'm just wondering how it would come across. You're like, hey, babe, what you doing for the next 36 hours?
That's awesome. Okay, Xavier Crowell. God.
Yep.
Xavier Crowell. Running back. Some people think he's the number one running back in the country. I know that those. I was going to say something else and I can't do it because it's so awful. But you know what I was going to do.
We'll switch. You know your segues. We're going from ED to EJ Crowell.
All right. So number one running back in the country according to some services, and he is. Also,
this is an EJ Crowell podcast.
I have seen him and I always hate it when people are like, "Hey, well, I was at the game." I was like, "Yeah, well, I watched it. I had better viewpoints than you did." But there is something sometimes about being at the game, and you can almost feel the star power from a certain player. Man, Crowell's got that, dude. He's just got it, and he's going to be a thing. And he's suspended for the first game, which sucks because it's against Saraland, and Saraland is a really good team.
This was going to be the best game of the weekend.
There is no doubt.
Best game of the weekend. Now it's not.
Well, let me say this.
Jackson's got a lot of good players.
Jackson's still loaded.
It'll still be a ball game. But with Crowell, Jackson, a 4A school, might have upset maybe the best 6A program in the state.
Agreed. And that part does suck. But I'm going to say this. I think the AHSA takes its fair share of shots. And y'all know I'm with the AHSA radio network, which is not, to my knowledge, it's not like part of the AHSA necessarily. It's like we have a contract to broadcast a lot of those games. And so I have no problem calling a spade. And like sometimes I think the AHSA makes some bad decisions. This one I get. And we've all heard the rumors of what's going on. Jimmy and I are not going to elaborate because we're not 100% sure because a lot of it is rumor. But if he got a gift or an impermissible benefit or whatever, and then he returned said impermissible benefit, I don't want him to miss his whole year. And I wouldn't care if he was committed to Auburn.
I think he's only missing the first game.
He's only missing the one game. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I think the AHSA got this right.
Yeah.
Where in the past, they might say, well, you're missing 6 games or you're missing the whole year. And I'm like, I mean, that's not fair to him. He'll never get this back.
Yeah. If you gave it back, there's no reason to miss more than one game. But I do think you should miss one game.
Yeah.
Because if you rob a bank and then on your way home, you're like, you know what? That was a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. I'm bringing the money back to the bank and turning myself in. You still go to jail. You're probably not going to spend the rest of your life in jail.
Yeah.
But you're still going to get arrested and charged with robbing the bank, even if you return it, apologize, and give the money back. So while this is hardly robbing a bank, I think what a lot of fans, because I read this all the time and I hear it all the time, it gets under my skin a little bit. And this case is proof of it. There are still rules. We have fans walk around and go, there's no rules anymore. You can give these kids anything they want. They can get any amount of money. It's just kids, NIL. There's no rules. It's the Wild Wild West. That's not really true. There are still rules, and you still can be punished. Ask Michigan, for instance, from the NCAA has no teeth. Well, they fined Michigan a lot of money. And I know people are like, well, they don't miss any games. That money's gonna hurt a little bit. I mean, I know this. Alabama doesn't want to take $20 million out of the athletic budget, particularly right now with revenue share and everything else. So there are still rules and a high school player receiving a significant financial gift is a violation. That's a violation of amateurism rules and that even I would know. And you can't do that.
You can't do it. And look, it was probably some kind of honest mistake because I get it. Now, I understand that it's hard to understand these rules, but at the same time, it is what it is. I think all's well that ends well. He's going to be back, and I think this is probably going to motivate this kid to do even more good things. Really quickly, some week 0 thoughts. You got Farmageddon coming up. I'm excited. It's a good game.
2 good quarterbacks, Rocco Becht and Avery Johnson. 2 good coaches, Matt Campbell, Colin Klein. 2 programs that have an absolute legitimate chance to win the Big 12 and make the playoff. Big deal. But my factoid I wanted to tell you, because it's kind of amazing. Two things won't amaze you, but at 5 or 6 o'clock, and I'm sorry that I don't have the exact time, but roughly 5 or 6 o'clock is Kansas versus Fresno State.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that there are 4 players from Alabama that play for Kansas? 2 that played for the University of Alabama. I think a lot of people listening realize that Emmanuel Henderson and Jaleel Hurley have transferred to Kansas, where I think they will do really well. I like the choice. But how about these 2 names from the past that I had no idea were Kansas? Maybe you are, and I'm the one that should be more amazed. But Dylan Brooks, remember him?
Yeah, if you went to Auburn. Yeah.
Yep.
And look, Auburn loved him. They were like, they can't believe, he kept dropping in the rankings. If I remember, it was like, I can't believe it. And I was like, Alabama's not even really pursuing this cat.
Yeah. He was ranked really high at one point and then kind of fell and then went to Auburn. He was there at Auburn 2 years, I think, or maybe longer. 2 years there. Kansas Jayhawk now, Dylan Brooks, who was an in-state story here about 4 years ago. Big deal. But this other name from Alabama, even more shocking to me that's there, Justice Finkley from Hewitt-Trussville, who spurned Alabama and Auburn to go to Texas. Just didn't work out at Texas. There 2 or 3 years, played very little, played some. Now is transferred to Kansas to finish out his career. So Kansas, I'm interested in watching them featuring Dylan Brooks, Justice Finkley.
But wait a minute, isn't it Kansas State and Iowa State, not Kansas?
That's the 11 o'clock game. But Kansas,
you're talking about the Kansas game. Okay, I got you.
Kansas Jayhawks play Fresno State at 5 or 6 o'clock, and Stanford plays Hawaii for the other Power 4 team. That's
I'm not as interested.
I'm not as interested in that at all. Well, it's college football, so I'm going to watch it. But I'm just saying, I think Stanford's probably only going to win 3 or 4 games at the most, and Hawaii's not a real story unless they're really good, and I don't think they are.
It's like when Kramer went to steal food from Jerry's refrigerator, and it was a bunch of healthy stuff, and Kramer's like, well, I'm still going to eat it, but I don't have to like it. All right, open phone. If you're running a business, every missed call has left money on the table sometimes. Think about the last time you needed a service. If the first person didn't answer, what'd you do? You probably hung up. I moved on, whatever. I get it. That's why you need open phone, so you never miss an opportunity to connect with your customers. Open phone is the #1 business phone system designed to streamline and scale your customer communications. Do you juggle 2 phones just to keep business and personal calls separate? You need open phone. It solves that instantly. See why over 60,000 businesses trust Open Phone. They're offering Locked On listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/lockedoncollege. That's openphone.com/lockedoncollege. All one word, Locked On College. They'll even port over your existing numbers for free. That's what Open Phone wants to do for you. And you can thank us in the comments. That'd be nice. Now, Prize Picks. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy platform that lets you turn your football predictions into real rewards. Preseason is already heating up, and college football isn't far behind. Whether you've got your eye on big-name quarterbacks or breakout running backs, Prize Picks makes it easy to get in on the game. Look, for this week's Prize Picks is offering major max discount. Max discount #1, Avery Johnson max discount. That's Saturday's game versus Iowa State. All he's got to do is get more than 0.5 passing yards. 0.5 passing yard. Like, they don't even keep up with the 0.5. If he throws for 1 yard, it's done.
I like the odds.
Max discount #2, Dax Prescott max discount, which is a Thursday, September 4th versus Philadelphia game, the opening game of NFL. Guess what he is? 0.5 passing yards. Look, so that's just awesome stuff. The flex play option is a total game changer. Even when one of your picks misses, you still doubled your money. Unbelievable. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONCollege, all one word, to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. You don't have to win it. You just have to play it. Prize Picks, that's where you run your game. That's a Jimmy Stein guarantee. Okay, so I want to go on a rant on this Natty thing, but Dijon Lee, Kane Womack is calling him essentially a starter. And Dijon, look, I'm seeing a bunch of freshman All-American teams come out because people are literally running out of things to discuss. Yeah. And because everybody's like, we want this stuff all here. Dijon Lee's going to be on a freshman All-American team, barring injury, to me, at the end of the year.
I agree. And I know that Kane Womack used the word starter. I just want people to realize that maybe he is out there snap number one, and but he did intimate when discussing that Dijon was a starter. He quickly talked about Damani's health. Damani missed the entirety of the spring. Per Kane Womack, he missed a lot of workouts over the summer, and they're sort of working him back a little bit. And I think he even used the term pitch count. They have Damani on a pitch count. So people don't need to get carried away with Dijon Lee beat out Damani. Did he just beat him out and Damani's on the bench? I think this has a lot to do with Damani either not being 100% or being brand new to 100%, and they're just trying to work him back. They play a lot of players on defense. He substitutes a lot. Yeah, he called Dijon Lee a starter. I also think that he would call Xavier Brown and Damani Jackson starters too. But it's clear that of all the freak freshmen that showed up as part of this class, Dijon Lee heads that list. I think he's proving, at least initially, that he's the best player in that great signing class, and he's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see him.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to him. He's going to be one. Here's what I'm hoping: the early weather reports are like it could be some rain for FSU, and I'm like, oh God, please no. Because wouldn't that be something like the only other time we've seen Ty Simpson? The only other time we've seen Ty Simpson like in a must-play game, it was rainy in South Florida. I just don't want
that. Was a disaster. And how about the rain at the start of the Michigan game played also in Florida?
Jimmy,
I know. And hey, I recently rewatched that. When y'all think, boy, I can't believe he can sit through. I recently rewatched the Michigan game. I'm not making an excuse. That was a freaking disaster. I'm 100% convinced that had Alabama not gone for it on fourth down and given them that short field, and then Michigan had the ball in their end of the field during the monsoon, that game probably goes the other way. I don't think Michigan could have functioned in the sideways rain either. And see, Alabama got the sideways rain under in the shadow of their own goalpost. It could have easily flipped had Alabama. I think going for them fourth down, was a mistake. I thought so at the time, actually. I'm not just saying in retrospect. But anyway, you're right. When I hear rain in Florida, I get the shakes because that's twice in a row. It hadn't gone well for us. So I hope I hadn't really thought about it. But, ooh, yikes, that would scare me.
Allow me to rant about this Auburn claiming national championship.
Oh, feel free. Feel free.
Okay. First of all, I do get it. And I'm going to be completely transparent. I think Auburn probably does deserve some of these. I'm fine even with like 1983, even though that was only New York Times or whatever, because Auburn did get jumped. And if Alabama had been jumped like that, which they have been, we would have been PO'd. I get it. But I'm also going to say this. Well, let me add in. Alabama's 1941 claim is a complete disastrous joke. Stupid. We should never do it. We should take it down immediately.
We pay the price for that. We pay the price for that.
It delegitimizes other ones that are legit. Even 73, where people go, well, you lost to Notre Dame in the bowl game. Back then, they named the national champion before the bowl. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that's what they did. Now, here's where I'm bothered by what Auburn did. If you want to claim 2004, okay, but we did see two teams play for the national championship. You weren't one of them. And if that's the case, didn't Utah finish undefeated that year too? Why don't they claim it? Then, on another note, you can't claim 1993 and say, hey, we went undefeated. Well, you didn't play in the SEC title game. You didn't play a bowl game because you were on probation.
That's the two toughest games for you to play. You didn't play. You didn't get to play in them, and those games are required to win a 1993 national championship. You better win your conference championship game and then the BCS game after, and they didn't even play in those. So I agree that they're to be applauded for that undefeated season, but you can't be national champions unless you won postseason games.
Well, my point is, how can you claim 93 when you go undefeated but don't play in a bowl game or the SEC title game, and then claim 2004 because USC was on probation? You were on probation. You can't do both. Now, as far as the 1910 and the 1913 or what are these other, look, they were keeping scores on cave walls back then. I don't care if you claim them. I can't refute it. I wasn't alive.
I don't care to research it.
I don't even care to research
say, fine, congratulations.
Exactly.
I don't even want to Google.
But what I'm saying, I wish Alabama and Auburn would have a moment where they come together and say, guys, we'll take down 1941, but you got to take down 1993. And like, I think everybody would say, okay, we can live with that. Now, another thing, if we are going to, and it's already started, Jimmy, Winsipedia tweeted out, I'm going to find it here in a second. Winsipedia tweeted out that, hey, or they actually put it on something. They said that, in 2007, LSU won the championship with 11-2 record or whatever. Missouri and USC also went 11-2 and 11-2. Why don't they claim them? And that's the silliness. We're trying to have a society. Now,
we're trying to have a society. We're trying to have a society here.
So here's a couple of things. If we're going to go down this really stupid, dumb rabbit hole, then the first thing, Michael Southern and I've already discussed it, we're going to create shirts saying Alabama is the 1930 national champion in basketball. Now, we cut down the peach baskets just like we were supposed to back in 1930 because that's what they had. But I also realize we probably really weren't national champs, but somebody said we were. So why don't we claim it? Now, there are people out there going, claim them all. And all I'm trying to say is we are delegitimizing the best sport on the planet daily. So when you do things like claim 1941 and claim 1993, and if USC or Missouri were to claim 2007 or UCF claims 2017, when you do things like that, you delegitimize the entire thing. And so I wish there were a czar to come through and say, here's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to do two things. First thing I'm going to do is give everybody their wins back that were vacated. I know people will say, well, of course you would, you're Alabama, but I do it for everybody. Because the games happened. I'm going to give every win back. Auburn's games, Bama's games, whoever. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have one person do this. We're going to find the most unbiased person we can have. It won't be me or you. It won't be Zach Blackerby, but it'll be somebody. And they will go through every year and say, here's who the national champion was. There are no more ties. And it's going to be a real bear when it's Georgia Tech and Colorado. That's a tough one. Or when it's, Washington
Michigan
and Miami.
Washington and Miami split one year, and 97, Michigan and Nebraska did.
USC and somebody else.
Teams like
USC and LSU. USC and LSU.
Yeah, and 03.
And Alabama, Notre Dame. And you know what? What we're going to do, somebody's going to take away 1973 and we're going to cry, but somebody's going to give us back 1966, which we deserved. So what I'm saying is we may end up with 15 natties or 14. But they will be legit, they will be recognized, and everybody will play by the same rule. I don't want any more of this. Hey, just claim. Look, I got a world's greatest dad coffee mug. That doesn't mean that thing's legit. So anyway, I had to go on a rant about this because I had some Auburn people saying, well, we should claim everything. And I was like, okay, I do get where you're coming from. And we did start it. I mean, Alabama and Notre Dame started it. I get it. So let's come together and fix this before it gets crazy stupid, right?
It is dumb. I mean, it's just dumb to be able to retroactively claim a national championship. To me, it's kind of dumb. Yeah. But I am frustrated over the 41 thing with Alabama because there's this narrative out there that Alabama has claimed a bunch of made up titles. And one quick rant because we're out of time, but 73, Alabama was named national champions by the UPI. There were two major, there's only two that everyone knew that awarded national champions. This isn't a minor thing. It's the AP and the UPI. And if you were one of those two, that's a completely legitimate championship. The UPI had different rules than the AP. And those rules were known by everybody, which is we're going to name our national champion after the regular season. Those exhibition bowl games don't count. That's what the UPI felt. That's not Alabama's fault. Alabama won that national championship based on the UPI's rules. I just see over and over again, but they lost to Notre Dame in 73. It's ridiculous that they claim. No, before the game was even played, UPI had already said Alabama's the national champions. The outcome of the game didn't affect it. Now, should that have been the rule? is a completely different argument. And maybe that should have been the rule, but it wasn't the rule at the time of the season. The UPI did that in all years until they changed their rule. And I'm sick of defending that one. I mean, don't blame Alabama, blame UPI, which
Agreed.
was equal with the AP, really, in terms of the prestige of the trophy they awarded. That's on the UPI. It's not on Alabama. They did what was required of them by the UPI's rules and were declared champion. And that's not one Alabama should ever have to give back, although I sort of like Luke's idea that Josh Pate would name national champions going all the way back to 1900. Josh is the guy I want to do this, by the way.
Josh would be good to do this. All right, that's going to do it for today's pod. We'll be back soon with more. Until then, roll tide, everybody.
Roll Tide.